Dear students, we are discuss about communication. Communication is the process of exchanging information, ideas, and feelings. A good communication is essential to developing interpersonal relations and conducting successful business activities. And then the definition of communication. The communication means the exchange of thoughts, message, or like as by speech, signals, or writings. Is to express oneself in such a way that one is readily and clearly understood. The essential tools of communication: a common communication environment, cooperation between the sender and the receiver, and selection of appropriate channel, and correct encoding and decoding of the message, and recipient of desired response and feedback. So we know what is communication. So communication it's a process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and speech, signals, writing, behavior. Through this way, we have to use our communication. And the six primary elements of communication: the senders and receivers, and the message, and the channel, feedback, and blocks and settings. So, what is meant by sender and receiver? Every message must be sent and received and understood. Both verbal and non-verbal means are used to send to receive the messages. And verbal speaking and writing. Verbal means speaking and writing, and non-verbal it means using facial expressions and body language, gestures, movements, and mannerisms that communicate your thoughts. You are often the sender and receiver at the same time to get the information. So, what does mean by message? The substance of any form of communication is called the message. A message is the information, ideas, or feelings the sender wants to share with others. Every word has a verbal symbol with a meaning that can be understood by others who know the same language, and avoid using slang, high technical words. This will increase the chance that your message will be understood. And what is meant by channel? The avenues by which a message is delivered. When face to face, the channel are used and sight. The channels are used sound and sight. Over the telephone, the channel is sound. The written word is also a channel. This can be in the form of email, letters, text message, reports, and notes, etc. And the next one is the way of feedback. It's on kind of communication. The receiver's response to the message. When you ask questions, you're wanting to receive feedback, and feedback allows the message to be clarified and assures that both people understand the message. The greatest opportunity for feedback is in a face-to-face conversation. Otherwise, it is hard to see someone's facial expression and body language. So, blocks interfere with understanding the message. The three types of blocks that we will be discussing are distractions, emotional blocks, and planning a response. The setting where communication takes place. Outdoor settings are hard to control, and indoor settings may vary from a large to small space, but you can control the decor and atmosphere. Make sure to have a large enough space for all who will attend. Arrange chairs so that everyone may hear the speaker, have good listening, have the appropriate working equipment, also have snacks, drinks, and coffee. For one-on-one setting, it may be best to choose a smaller room. You may also be more comfortable in your own workspace than someone else. If you want to make someone feel comfortable in a conversation, go to the workplace. And the types of communication. People communicate with each other in a number of ways that depend upon the message and its context in which it being sent. The types of communication based on the communication channels used are verbal communication and non-verbal communication. What is meant by verbal communication? It refers to the form of communication in which message is transmitted verbally. And communication is done by word of mouth and piece of writing. In verbal communication, remember the acronym And verbal communication is divided into oral communication and written communication. And then oral communication. In oral communication, spoken words are used. It includes face to face conversation and speech, telephonic conversation, video and radio, television, voice over the network. And communication is influenced by pitch, volume, speed, and clarity of speaking. The advantages and disadvantages of communication. And the advantages are it brings quick feedback in a face-to-face conversation. By reading facial expression and body language, one can guess whether he or she should trust what's being said or not. The disadvantage of oral communication: in face-to-face discussion, user is unable to deeply think about what he is delivering, so this can be counted as a fault. And written communication. In a written communication means written signs or symbol are used to communicate. In written communication, message can be transmitted via email, letter, report, memo, etc. And the written communication is most common form of communication being used in business. So the advantages of written communication is the messages can be edited and revised. Written communication provide record and backup. A written message enables receivers to fully understand it and send the appropriate feedback. The disadvantages: written communication doesn't bring instant feedback. It takes more time in composing a written message as compared to word of mouth, and number of people struggles for writing ability. And the non-verbal communication. The non-verbal communication is the sending or receiving of wordless messages, such as gesture, body language, posture, tone of voice, or facial expressions, is called non-verbal communication. So non-verbal communication is all about the body language of speaker. Non-verbal communication have the following three elements: the appearance, speaker's clothing or hairstyle, and the neatness, use of cosmetics, and the surroundings room, the size of the room and the lighting system, the decoration and the furnishing. So need for communication. On a daily basis, we work with people who have different opinion, values, beliefs, and needs that our ability to exchange ideas with others. So understand other perspectives, solve problems will depend significantly on how effectively we discuss with others. And barriers to communication: the noise, inappropriate medium, and assumption and misconception, language differences, and poor listening skills. These are all the barriers of communication. So, thank you, all of you.